chosen ones. An investigator has been quietly asking your friends, co-workers, neighbors, and everyone who actually knows you about your character. Your enemies are absolutely losing their minds right now because every single person has nothing but beautiful things to say about you. While these weirdos were busy spreading lies and paying bribes to destroy your reputation, the universe was collecting testimony that's about to expose them as the frauds they've always been. The criminal charges they never saw coming are already being filed. What they don't know yet is that their own bragging about taking money to destroy you has created a paper trail that leads straight to their jail cell. The federal case number has already been assigned, and the warrants are being prepared as we speak. Getting to this beautiful place required you to make one of the hardest decisions of your life. Your enemies are still bitter about it, still sending you psychic attacks that can't penetrate your protection. You had to walk away from someone who seemed like they were supposed to be your person, what some call a twin flame connection. This person had a way of making you feel like you were meant to be together, like the universe itself had orchestrated your meeting. They mirrored your dreams, your language, even your mannerisms in ways that felt supernatural. Little did you know, they were studying you like a predator studies prey, setting you up for the biggest betrayal of your life. The evidence of their deception is about to come to light in the most unexpected way through their own documented confessions to multiple witnesses. The relationship became toxic in ways that left you questioning your own sanity. This person abused your trust, your energy, your love in ways that made you doubt your own judgment, while making their behavior seem normal, even necessary. They knew exactly which buttons to push, exactly how to make you feel crazy for having normal reactions to their abnormal behavior. They'd create chaos, then act surprised when you responded emotionally. They'd break promises, then gaslight you about what was actually agreed upon. What you didn't realize then was that they were actually documenting your reactions. They were taking screenshots of your emotional responses, recording your breakdowns, planning to use your pain against you later. Those screenshots, those recordings they thought were their insurance policy, have now become evidence of their premeditated abuse. The metadata shows they were planning this from day one. You also had to distance yourself from family dynamics that were actively draining your life force. Maybe it was relatives who never quite believed in your dreams, constantly questioning your decisions and making you second-guess yourself. Perhaps it was family members who always had something negative to say about your choices, disguising their sabotage as concern, while actually undermining your confidence at every turn. They'd show up at your victories with backhanded compliments. They'd appear during your struggles with "I told you so" energy. These same family members who are about to be exposed for taking bribes to spread lies about you. The fund they created to finance your destruction has been discovered by federal investigators, and the account records show deposits going back years. The decision to separate yourself took incredible strength that your enemies underestimated completely. They thought you were weak for walking away. They thought you were running from conflict. They had no idea you were actually making a strategic move that would ultimately lead to their downfall. You recognized that staying meant going in circles forever. The same arguments, the same patterns, the same energy drains that kept you from becoming who you were meant to be. So you created space, you stepped back, you chose your peace over their presence. What you didn't know was that this strategic withdrawal would give investigators the perfect opportunity to interview people about your character without your toxic connections being able to influence their responses. Your absence created a vacuum that truth rushed in to fill. The moment you disconnected, something predictable yet devastating happened. The evidence of their conspiracy is about to surface in ways that will shock even you. The very people you walked away from couldn't handle your absence with grace. Your energy had been feeding them, and without it, they started to starve. Instead of respecting your decision or taking time to reflect on their own behavior, they immediately launched a coordinated campaign to rewrite the story of why you left. They held actual meetings to get their stories straight. They created group chats to coordinate their lies. What they didn't realize was that this campaign would eventually become evidence in a legal case that's about to rule in your favor. Every text, every email, every recorded call is now in the hands of prosecutors. It was like they had been waiting for this opportunity their entire lives. The moment you were gone, their masks came off completely. Since you weren't there to defend yourself, they felt free to paint whatever picture served their narrative. They told anyone who would listen that you were the problem. They said you were mentally unstable, difficult to deal with, someone who just couldn't handle real relationships or family responsibilities. They created elaborate stories about your supposed mental breakdowns, your alleged addictions, your imaginary crimes. Every lie they tell is about to be systematically disproven by the mountain of positive testimony being collected about your character. The investigation has interviewed over 50 people, and not a single one corroborated their stories. They convinced themselves that if they could control the narrative while you were gone, everyone would simply believe their version of events. They underestimated the intelligence of your community. They underestimated the loyalty of people who truly knew you. No one would ever hear your side of the story because you had clearly moved on and wouldn't be coming back to defend yourself. They thought they were brilliant strategists, creating Pinterest boards of their revenge plans, keeping journals of their progress. They were actually building the foundation for their own legal destruction. The universe was taking notes on every single lie, preparing to present them with a bill they never expected. The interest on that karmic debt has been compounding daily. The lies grew more elaborate and more vicious over time. First they said you were difficult, then they upgraded to saying you were dangerous. They painted you as someone who was jealous, petty, unable to commit to anything meaningful. They questioned your mental health, suggesting you needed intervention. They questioned your character, implying you had done things that would shock people. They questioned your motivations for every decision you'd ever made, reframing your kindness as manipulation, your boundaries as cruelty. Some even suggested you had been using people, taking advantage of their kindness while secretly plotting your exit. They created a whole mythology around your supposed evil nature. Each fabrication is now being cross-referenced against testimony from people who actually know you. The contrast is so stark that prosecutors are calling this one of the clearest cases of conspiracy they've ever seen. They're actually using this case in training materials as an example of how projection reveals the accuser more than the accused. Meanwhile, your ex-partner was running around town bragging about taking money to spread these lies about you. This person was so proud of their easy money that they couldn't keep their mouth shut. The ego boost of being paid to hurt you was intoxicating to them. Telling friends at bars, casual acquaintances, even people they were romantically involved with about how they got paid to ruin your reputation. They showed people the bank transfers, they screenshotted the payment confirmations. They thought they were untouchable, protected by your family's money and influence. They had no idea they were creating a paper trail that would lead directly to their jail cell. Every person they bragged to has now become a witness in the federal case being built against them. The witness list is currently at 23 people and growing. Your family members were coordinating with your ex, sharing resources and strategies to maximize the damage to your reputation. They had spreadsheets tracking their progress. They had weekly Zoom calls to discuss tactics. They pooled money, compared notes, and systematically tried to turn your entire community against you. They even hired a social media consultant to help them optimize their smear campaign. They documented their efforts, thinking they were being thorough and professional. In reality, they were creating evidence that will be used against them in court proceedings that are about to begin. The fund they created, the meetings they held, the scripts they shared are all now evidence exhibits in a conspiracy case. The FBI has been involved for the last 3 months, and your enemies have no idea they're under federal investigation. If this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can find it. The truth needs to reach those still trapped in similar situations who think they're alone in this battle. Your story is about to become their survival guide. This is where the universe stepped in with the most beautiful plot twist of your entire story. Trust me, the finale is going to be even more satisfying than you can imagine. The investigation didn't start the way your enemies think it did. Someone started asking questions. Maybe it was an official investigation triggered by the financial crimes your enemies committed. Maybe it was someone new who wanted to understand what really happened. Or maybe it was just the natural consequence of too many inconsistencies in their increasingly desperate stories. The truth has a way of demanding to be heard. What actually happened was that someone your ex tried to date did a background check and found the inconsistencies. That person happens to work in law enforcement. This investigator, and that's exactly what they were, started reaching out to people who actually knew you. Not just the bitter ex or angry family members who felt abandoned, but real people who had witnessed your character firsthand. They were methodical, professional, and thorough. The list was extensive and damning for your enemies. Neighbors who saw how you treated others, including the elderly woman you helped with groceries every week. Co-workers who knew your work ethic and integrity, how you stayed late to help others meet deadlines without asking for credit. Church members or community volunteers who had served alongside you, remembering how you always showed up even when you were struggling. Former colleagues who remembered your professionalism and kindness, how you defended people who weren't in the room. Teachers who taught you and still talk about your character years later. Bosses who supervised you and tried to convince you to come back. Friends who had known you for years and would trust you with their lives. One by one they asked the same types of questions. What was your experience with this person? Did you ever see them behave inappropriately? Were they reliable? How did they treat people when they thought no one was watching? Did they ever lie to you or steal from you? What was their reputation in the community? Have you ever had any negative experiences with them? The responses started forming a pattern that no one expected, least of all the people who had been spreading lies about you. It was like watching a masterpiece being painted, stroke by stroke, revealing your true character. Every single person had not just positive things to say, but glowing testimonials that painted a picture completely opposite to the character assassination attempt your enemies had orchestrated. The investigator kept detailed notes, and these notes are about to become evidence in legal proceedings that will change your life forever. They were always kind to everyone, especially people who couldn't do anything for them. I watched them give their last $20 to someone who needed it more, never saw them lose their temper inappropriately, even under extreme stress. Even when people were horrible to them, they responded with grace, or went out of their way to help people who were struggling, and never mentioned it or wanted credit. One of the most genuine people I've ever met. What you see is what you get with them. There's no hidden agenda, no manipulation, just authentic kindness. If they left a situation, they probably had a really good reason, because they don't give up on people easily. I've seen them try to fix relationships that anyone else would have abandoned years ago. They always paid their bills on time and kept their word. If they said they'd do something, it was as good as done. I trusted them with my children, my secrets, my business. Never once did they betray that trust. In fact, they protected my privacy even when sharing the information could have benefited them. The investigator kept asking, kept digging, expecting to find someone who would validate the negative stories your enemies were spreading. Instead, they found a community of people who respected you, liked you, and couldn't understand why anyone would speak badly about you. Several people independently asked if your accusers were mentally ill or had addiction issues because the lies were so far from reality. Each positive response added another nail to the coffin of your enemy's credibility. The investigator started creating a matrix comparing the accusations against the testimonies. The contrast was so stark that the investigator started to suspect something criminal was happening. How could someone with such universally positive character references be painted as the villain by a small group of people who all happened to be financially connected? The answer was about to reveal itself in the form of financial records showing bribes and coordination between your accusers. The investigation expanded into financial fraud, and that's when the FBI got involved. The courthouse of public opinion started shifting in ways that terrified your enemies. People who had initially believed their lies started asking questions. The investigator realized they weren't getting a balanced picture from your accusers. They were getting a completely one-sided attack that didn't match up with anyone else's experience of you. The evidence was so overwhelming that legal proceedings were immediately initiated. Your enemies are about to face consequences they never saw coming. The charges include conspiracy to commit fraud, defamation with malicious intent, cyberstalking, and racketeering. The officials handling this investigation started using their own intuition and professional experience. They recognize that when every neutral party speaks positively about someone, but only the people with obvious grudges have negative things to say, the truth becomes crystal clear. They'd seen this pattern before in cases involving fraud, defamation, and conspiracy. One investigator mentioned this, reminded them of cases where narcissistic abuse was being projected onto the victim. Your character spoke for itself through other people's experiences with you. The lead investigator has actually become personally invested in ensuring you get justice. Your integrity was validated by individuals who had no reason to lie for you, no agenda to protect you, no benefit from defending you. They simply told the truth about who you had always been. Some of them didn't even know they were being interviewed as part of a criminal investigation. They thought someone was just asking about you for a reference check. That truth was so consistent it became impossible to ignore. The investigator's report reads like a love letter to your character, page after page of documented goodness that no lie could ever erase. The prosecutor has mentioned they've never seen such unanimous positive character testimony in their entire career. What your enemies didn't anticipate was how their lies would actually highlight their own character defects. The more desperately they tried to convince people you were terrible, the more obvious it became that they were projecting their own issues onto you. The investigators started seeing patterns in their accusations that revealed more about them than about you. Every accusation was actually a confession of their own behavior. They accused you of being manipulative while they were literally conspiring against you. They called you mentally unstable while exhibiting clear signs of coordinated delusion. They said you were a user while they were taking bribes to lie. The investigation expanded to include financial fraud, defamation, conspiracy to commit character assassination, and potentially even stalking charges. The scope keeps growing as more evidence surfaces. Your enemies went from thinking they had destroyed you to realizing they had destroyed themselves. The very actions they took to hurt you became the evidence needed to ensure they faced legal consequences for their crimes. The universe doesn't miss a single detail when it comes to divine justice. Every lie has been catalogued, every payment traced, every conspiracy meeting documented. The investigation has uncovered something even more disturbing and criminal than simple lies. The evidence is so comprehensive that prosecutors are calling it one of the most well-documented conspiracy cases they've ever seen. Some of your family members had actually created a fund to pay your ex-partner to spread false information about you. The fund was officially registered as a family emergency fund, but the real purpose is clearly documented in their communications. They coordinated their attack like a military operation, sharing resources, strategies, and even scripts to maximize the damage to your reputation and opportunities. They had actual templates for the lies they wanted spread. Your ex-partner, easily motivated by money and short-term gains, took their bribes without considering the long-term consequences or the fact that conspiracy to commit defamation is a serious felony. This person was so proud of their easy money that they couldn't help bragging about it to multiple people across different social circles. The payment started at $500 per lie, but escalated to $5,000 for more elaborate schemes. They told friends at bars about getting paid to lie about you, showing them the cash. They shared details with casual acquaintances about their side hustle of destroying your reputation. They even bragged to people they were romantically involved with about how clever they were for getting money to talk badly about their exes. One person they dated recorded these admissions and has turned over 3 hours of audio to investigators. They shared specific details about taking money to lie about you, thinking it made them seem clever or resourceful rather than criminal. They had no idea they were creating a trail of evidence that would eventually destroy their credibility completely and land them in federal prison. Each person they told became a potential witness in a criminal case that was building against them. The witness list grows longer every day as more people come forward with stories of your ex's bragging. Some witnesses have text messages, others have recordings, and several have photos of your ex showing off the cash payments. The money trail is extensive and damning. Bank records show regular payments from your family members to your ex-partner, coinciding with escalated attacks on your character. The payments always happened on Thursdays, always in amounts just under $10,000 to avoid federal reporting requirements. Text message threads reveal coordination of stories and strategies. There's a 47-page document outlining their destroy everything plan. Email communications show planning sessions where they decide what lies to tell and when to tell them. They documented their own conspiracy, thinking they were being thorough and professional. They were actually creating a prosecutor's dream case. The evidence is so clear that the prosecutor expects this case to end in guilty pleas rather than going to trial. Now they're all panicking, trying to convince everyone they told to keep quiet about their admissions. They're running around attempting damage control, begging people not to repeat what they freely shared when they thought there would never be consequences. Your ex-partner is trying to visit everyone they bragged to, offering money to keep quiet, not realizing that witness tampering is another felony charge being added to their case. They've been caught on surveillance cameras at 3 different witnesses' homes. Their desperation has become almost comical to watch. They're trying to burn evidence that exists in multiple people's memories, attempting to convince witnesses to forget conversations that made them uncomfortable at the time. They're learning the hard way that you can't unring a bell or make people forget the things you said when you thought you were untouchable. Every attempt to cover their tracks creates more evidence of consciousness of guilt. They've sent over 200 text messages in the last week, trying to coordinate their cover-up, not knowing their phones are being monitored. The conspiracy included plans to sabotage your work opportunities, interfere with your romantic relationships, and systematically isolate you from your support network. They had a 3-phase plan documented in detail. Phase 1 was character assassination. Phase 2 was financial destruction. Phase 3 was complete isolation. They kept detailed records of their progress, thinking they were being strategic. In reality, they were creating evidence of premeditated malicious intent that will result in both civil and criminal penalties. The civil lawsuit being prepared will likely result in a 7-figure settlement. But here's what they didn't count on. Your ancestors, your spiritual protection, the universe itself stepped in to turn their negative energy back on them with interest compounded daily. Every spell they tried to cast on your love life, every curse they attempted to send toward your success, every bit of bad luck they tried to manifest for you has circled back to them, multiplied by their own malicious intent. They literally hired someone who claimed to be a witch to cast spells against you. That person has now come forward as a witness, explaining they took the money but never performed any rituals because they could sense the powerful protection around you. The spiritual protection around you has been so strong that their attacks couldn't penetrate your energy field. Multiple psychics and spiritual advisors have independently confirmed that you have ancient protection that predates this lifetime. Instead, everything ricocheted back to their source. They're experiencing the longest streak of bad luck they've ever encountered, and it's accelerating as the legal case builds against them. Nothing is working out for them anymore. Opportunities dry up just as they seem promising. 3 job offers have been rescinded after background checks. Relationships fall apart for seemingly no reason. 5 relationships have ended in the last 2 months. Money slips through their fingers like water. They've had unexpected expenses totaling over $30,000 in the last month alone. They can't seem to catch a break anywhere in their lives. They're starting to suspect that their attacks on you have something to do with their sudden misfortune, but it's too late to reverse the spiritual consequences they've triggered. The universe doesn't play when it comes to protecting chosen ones. Every negative intention they sent your way has become a boomerang of destruction in their own lives. Their health is declining, their appearance is deteriorating, their energy is depleted. They look like they've aged 10 years in the last 6 months. Meanwhile, you've been protected from all the negativity they tried to send your way by spiritual forces they didn't know existed. Your separation from them created a barrier that their malicious energy couldn't penetrate. Instead of affecting you, their toxic intentions have been redirected back to their source with the full force of universal justice behind them. You've been ascending while they've been descending, and the gap between your realities grows wider every single day. You're literally living in a different dimension than them now that their world is falling apart and yours is obviously flourishing beyond their wildest nightmares. They're making increasingly desperate attempts to reconnect with you. Their desperation is about to become evidence in the stalking charges being filed against them. Your ex-partner is trying every manipulation tactic they know, attempting to project grief and longing into your energy field, hoping you'll feel sorry for them as their legal troubles mount. They've sent 17 emails in the last 3 days alone. They're trying to convince you that they've changed, that they're ready to commit now, that they understand how special you are and how badly they messed up. They might even be proposing marriage or major commitments, thinking that grand gestures will override the damage they've caused and somehow convince you to drop the legal case against them. They've actually purchased an engagement ring, not understanding that you can see right through their desperation. They're operating from pure panic, not love. The ring will likely be seized as evidence of their attempts to manipulate a witness. You're completely unmoved by these attempts, and your immunity to their manipulation is driving them to even more desperate measures. Your spiritual growth has made you bulletproof to their emotional terrorism. Where once their fake tears or dramatic declarations might have pulled at your heartstrings, now you feel absolutely nothing, except perhaps mild annoyance at their persistence. You've transcended their entire paradigm of manipulation. The irony is that their desperation to avoid consequences is creating even more evidence against them. Every attempt to contact you, every effort to manipulate you into dropping charges, every fake apology is being documented and will be used to show the court that they pose an ongoing threat to your peace and safety. They're literally building the case for their own restraining order. The no-contact order being prepared will last for 20 years. You can see right through their sudden change of heart because you've developed the spiritual discernment that comes with healing from toxic relationships. You know they're not sorry for hurting you. They're sorry they got caught and are facing consequences. Their apologies are just another form of manipulation designed to serve their interests, not repair the damage they caused. You can actually see their energy field now, and it's dark, desperate, and deteriorating. Your spiritual growth has made you immune to their manipulation. Where once their fake tears or dramatic declarations might have pulled at your heartstrings, now you feel absolutely nothing. You've built yourself into such a strong, self-loving person that their emotional manipulation bounces off you like rubber bullets off steel. They're essentially trying to cast love spells on someone who has become spiritually bulletproof. Your aura is so bright now that darkness literally cannot exist in your presence. Your energy is so aligned with your highest good that their attempts to lower your vibration simply can't find purchase. You've transcended their entire reality. While they're stuck in the consequences of their actions, you're already living in a completely different dimension where their existence is irrelevant. You're operating at a frequency they can't even perceive, let alone reach. The legal consequences for their actions are about to become very real. Your ex is facing jail time for their role in the coordinated attack on your character and the financial crimes they committed in the process. The minimum sentence they're facing is 3 years, but it could go up to 15. The evidence against them is overwhelming. Between their own admissions to multiple people and the paper trail of bribes and coordination with their family members, they've built their own case against themselves. You're about to watch the person who tried to destroy your life get locked up for their crimes. The energetic cord you've been wanting to cut will be severed permanently by physical separation and legal consequences. This isn't about revenge, it's about natural consequences, finally catching up with someone who thought they were untouchable. Justice is being served without you having to lift a finger or compromise your own integrity. The universe has been handling everything while you focus on your healing and growth. This vindication isn't just emotional, it's about to become official, financial, and life-changing in ways that will shock everyone who doubted you. There are legal proceedings happening right now that will formally recognize the injustices you've endured, and the compensation package being prepared will exceed anything you imagined possible. We're talking about enough money to completely transform your life and the lives of those you choose to bless. The investigation has uncovered evidence of deliberate defamation, financial theft, conspiracy to commit character assassination, and coordinated efforts to damage your reputation and opportunities. You're about to receive compensation that represents more than just money. It's an official acknowledgement that you were wronged and that justice still exists in this world. It's the universe's way of paying you back with interest for everything they tried to steal. The settlement being negotiated includes restitution for lost opportunities, damaged reputation, emotional distress, and punitive damages designed to ensure your enemies never try something like this again. The amount is significant enough to change your entire financial situation and give you the freedom to pursue your dreams without worry. The universe is paying you back with interest for everything they tried to steal from you. Your lawyer has mentioned this could be one of the largest defamation settlements in your state's history. This victory will be public enough that the people who tried to tear you down will have to watch you win in the most humiliating way possible. Court records will be accessible to anyone who wants to see the truth about what really happened. The same community that heard their lies will witness your complete vindication through official legal channels. Your reputation isn't just being restored, it's being elevated to heights it never reached before. Local news outlets have already expressed interest in covering this story. Your deepest wish to be completely free from these toxic connections is about to be granted through legal means that will make reconnection impossible. The energetic cords that kept you tied to people who didn't deserve access to your energy are being cut permanently through restraining orders, no contact clauses, and legal consequences that will keep them away from you forever. You're about to experience a level of freedom you've never known before. While all this drama has been resolving itself behind the scenes, you've been attracting your real tribe. There's a divine masculine energy coming into your life who recognizes your lightworker status and wants to support your mission. This person has been prepared by the universe specifically for you. This person is curious about you in the best way, not trying to figure out how to manipulate you, but genuinely interested in understanding your mind, your dreams, your purpose. They see you as a fascinating universe to explore, not a resource to exploit. They see your talent and want to collaborate with you, not compete with you or drain your energy. This is what real love looks like. Two light workers recognizing each other and choosing to amplify each other's gifts rather than dim each other's shine. This person appreciates your independence and strength rather than feeling threatened by it. They're coming in fast with communication that will change your perspective on what partnership can look like. They've already been having dreams about you. This is someone who will balance your energy in the best way, bringing complementary strengths rather than creating more work and drama in your life. They've been prepared by the universe specifically for you, and the timing of their arrival is no accident. They couldn't have shown up while you were still energetically entangled with toxic connections. Your clearing has created space for real love. The connection will feel like coming home to someone you've known for lifetimes. You're living in a completely different energetic reality now. Your conscious choice to be happy, to express your true self, and to prioritize your own well-being has created a magnetic field that attracts abundance effortlessly. Every day, you're getting back in touch with your inner child, the part of you that knows how to have fun and be playful without apology. You're laughing more, dancing spontaneously, creating without judgment. You're calling in partners, romantic, business and friendship, who match this elevated energy rather than trying to pull you back down to old patterns. People are watching your transformation and talking about it in the most positive ways. There's good gossip about you spreading through your communities. People are impressed by your glow-up, inspired by your choices, and curious about how you've managed to create such positive change in your life. You've become a living testimony to the power of choosing yourself. Your happiness is creating ripple effects that touch everyone around you. The investigators working on your case feel good about helping you. They've mentioned that your case has restored their faith in justice. The people who testified to your character feel proud to have known you. Even strangers can sense that you're someone special. You're radiating a frequency that attracts blessings from unexpected sources. Animals and children are especially drawn to your energy now. You're using your natural talents in ways that serve not just yourself, but the collective good, whether that's through your work, your art, your healing abilities, or simply the way you move through the world. You're making a positive impact that people can feel. The gifts that your enemies tried to suppress are now flowing freely and powerfully. Your creative expression has reached new heights. The investigator who uncovered the truth about you has become an ally in your mission. They're not just someone who helped you legally, they're someone who recognizes your value and wants to see you succeed. They've seen enough cases to know when someone is genuinely special, and they're making sure you receive everything you deserve. They've actually recommended you for opportunities that align with your purpose. Every time someone speaks positively about you, that energy goes out into the universe and attracts more good things back to you. The same network that spread lies is now spreading truth, and the truth is so much more powerful than their fiction ever was. People who believe the lies are now feeling foolish for ever doubting you. They're reaching out with apologies and opportunities, trying to make amends for their temporary lapse in judgment. Some have offered to testify on your behalf. Hold that thought for a moment. I need your attention for something very important. We're revealing everything we know about personal power, healing yourself, and healing others through weekly Zoom call. No filters, no holding back. We have been quietly adding all the occult secrets we've collected over literal years of spiritual practice. The techniques and wisdom that transformed us from controlled pawns into conscious creators are now available to those ready to walk the same path. This is your invitation to join Obsidian Inner Order and support our platform so we can continue growing our megaphone to reach other chosen ones waiting for activation. By joining the Obsidian Inner Order, you're not just gaining access to forbidden knowledge, you're becoming part of a movement that's rewriting reality itself. It's a 360 win for all of us. Link is in the description. You have protection you didn't even know existed. The universe has assigned people to your case who genuinely want to see justice done. You're not fighting this battle alone. You have spiritual and practical support working on your behalf. Angels in human form have been positioned strategically to ensure your complete victory. Some of these people don't even know why they feel so compelled to help you. They just know they must. The weirdos from your past can continue to be mad about the fact that everyone loves you, but their anger can't touch you anymore. You've moved so far beyond their energy that their emotions about your success are just background noise you don't even hear. They're screaming into a void while you're dancing in paradise. Their bitterness is poisoning them while your joy is healing everyone around you. Your abundance is flowing in from multiple directions. Financial compensation, new opportunities, genuine relationships, and most importantly, the deep satisfaction of knowing you chose correctly when you walked away from toxicity. Every day brings new confirmation that leaving was the best decision you ever made. The universe is showering you with rewards for your courage. The good gossip about you will continue to spread because your light continues to grow brighter. People can't help but notice and comment on the positive changes in your energy, your appearance, your whole approach to life. You've become magnetic in a way that draws positive attention effortlessly. You're literally glowing with divine light. You've proven that chosen ones don't have to fight every battle themselves. Sometimes the best strategy is to remove yourself from toxic situations and let the universe handle the justice part while you focus on building your beautiful new life. Your withdrawal triggered a cosmic investigation that uncovered truths you didn't even know existed. The universe has been working overtime to vindicate you. The investigation, the vindication, the legal victory, the new love, the abundant opportunities. All of this is confirmation that you made the right choice when you prioritized your own well-being over keeping toxic people comfortable. The universe rewards those who have the courage to choose themselves, and your rewards are multiplying daily. Every blessing leads to another blessing in an endless cascade of abundance. Your story is becoming an inspiration to other chosen ones who are still deciding whether they have the strength to walk away from what's hurting them. Your success gives them permission to choose themselves too. The ripple effects of your courage are touching souls around the world who need to see that escape is possible, that justice exists, that choosing yourself leads to abundance, not poverty. You've become a lighthouse for others navigating similar storms. Continue ignoring the weirdos from your past. Continue building your beautiful present. Continue attracting the abundance that matches your elevated energy. Your mission as a light worker is just beginning, and this vindication has cleared the path for you to step fully into your purpose. The best is yet to come, and it's going to exceed your wildest dreams. The investigation that started quietly has become a roaring testimony to your character. The good gossip that your enemies hate is actually the universe's way of restoring what they tried to steal. Your name is being cleared in ways that will echo through eternity. The truth about who you really are can never be hidden again. Your light has become undeniable. Chosen one, remember this moment. Remember how the universe conspired to reveal your true character when lies tried to bury it. Remember how every person who actually knew you became a witness for your defense. Remember how the truth found its way to the surface despite every attempt to suppress it. This is your validation that you've always been exactly who you claim to be. The investigation proved what we always knew. You are the real deal, and now everyone else knows it too. The good gossip about you will become legendary, a story told for generations about how truth always prevails and chosen ones always rise.